Hello. Okay. Hey everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm just trying to get set up here, and trying to make sure that we can use it. Sorry about that. A second. Okay. All right. This is working now. Hello. Okay. Hey everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm just trying to get set up here, and okay. All right. Now my face is in the screen. Now let me see if I can get the video here as well. 1 second. All right, I think now it's working. Hide OBS from capture. Okay, yeah, I'll hide OBS. Okay, all right. I think this is now working. Let me make sure this is working properly. Let's see. Sorry about this, guys. Yeah, okay, good enough. This is working like this. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. I think this should be showing what I'm supposed to be seeing right now. So hopefully you should see this Canva presentation along with my face in the upper right-hand corner. So I'm just gonna let this ride for another minute or two, and now check the YouTube and make sure what I'm streaming is what I see on my screen, and then we'll get started with the agenda. Discuss what is a Botcamp cohort, what's new in cohort 12, go through the agenda for it, and try to answer some questions. Let me just check my YouTube and see if it's streaming the right thing. Okay, good. Now it looks like it is actually streaming the right thing. Oh, actually, wait, am I live? I think I'm live right now. Wait, actually, yeah, I think I should be streaming already. So I think, yes, I think I am. Okay, great. All right, so let's get started with this info session. For those of you who are kind of like who are new, we actually did this info session about a month ago. So it's yeah. You can also check the real time. What am I doing here? Present. All right, let's go. So yeah, let me go through what a Botcamp cohort is. I'll explain how it's structured, what's new for this one, and who should actually take it. So as I mentioned, yeah, we did this info session last time, but I want to make sure I do another one because we just published some new information with the last release that I think will be interesting for the folks who are interested in taking Botcamp to consider. So overall, Hummingbot is an open source framework for crypto market making and algo trading. It's basically free software that you download from GitHub. You can run it on your machine or in the cloud, and it basically offers you a direct pipeline to any different exchange, lots of exchanges, where we've standardized the API, and you can basically place the same trades, place the same orders on any centralized exchange or decentralized exchange that is supported by Hummingbot. So Hummingbot is a community-based project. So we see many contributions from the community, and so overall we think that it's just a very a powerful toolbox that helps quant devs and algo traders save a lot of time and effort in running strategies. So we see it used pretty heavily nowadays. So in the past 3 months, about 5 billion of trading volume has been reported by the community, and because there's an anonymized data collection feature in the client, and so we track about 21,000 active instances on a quarterly basis. This probably doesn't count a lot of clients that turn off the data reporting feature, especially the institutional users. So it's likely that the actual volume is larger than this. Because we're a community-based project, we have lots of users in Discord. We try to post videos on YouTube that explain how it works. And of course, we're constantly pushing updates to the various GitHub repos that comprise Hummingbot. Because of that, I think Hummingbot over the years has really expanded into something that people can just use. It's free software that people use, especially smaller projects, use to hire. Instead of hiring an expensive market maker, they'll just run Hummingbot. and a lot of the smaller market making firms, actually now even some of the larger ones, are now starting to standardize their operations on top of Hummingbot because it's just better than hiring lots of developers. So the way we're structured is that there's a open source foundation that we're all part of, that we contribute to, and that is supported by partnerships with different exchanges. In addition to that, we operate Botcamp, which is a for-profit education company, and Botcamp's goal is to train successful market makers and algo traders using the Hummingbot framework. So when we first started Botcamp, we used to do more cohorts. I think we had 4 or 5 cohorts every year. Gradually found that it's actually better to have a couple cohorts, make sure that there's a critical mass of students in each one, because they can team up, they can help each other, and it also allows us to spend the rest of the year adding new features to Hummingbot, adding kind of courses, and trying to make the content so that every single cohort people are learning something new. Let me just pause here. I'm going to quickly hop over to YouTube and try to make sure that there aren't any questions. Actually, it's probably easiest for me to do this with my phone. Whoops, it's a private chat I have with my friend Geek Lad over there. Yeah, let me just pause this. I want to look here. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can pass them in the chat. Post any questions here, and I will try to answer. But overall, yeah, let me proceed with the info session and explain what's new about this cohort. So we've done 12 cohorts so far. This is our 12th one coming up, and the way it works is that you pay for the cohort. It's a month-long boot camp, and at the end, you can basically build your own custom trading strategy and present it at demo day. If you do, you get certified, and we maintain a certified list of developers on our website, and especially with the new profile system that's coming out now, we think gaining that certification status will be highly valuable in the future. So in the last cohort, as an example, we had 33 students in the cohort. 15 of them achieved certification, and for the remainder, you can always submit your strategy along the demo day video and get certified in any future cohort. For cohort 12, we already have 26 enrollees, so we're really excited about this one. And so we will accept probably another 8 or 9 students, but we'll probably cap it at around 35 to make sure that we can offer personalized help to each of the students that are taking the cohort. So the way it's structured is that if you take the Botcamp cohort, you're learning directly from me and Fede and the rest of the team. We run Botcamp basically like a small business, and that's because it allows us to have a personalized coaching and provide individualized advice to each of the students. There are 13 live sessions. Each session is about 1 to 2 hours long. They take place on Zoom, so they're recorded and they're posted afterwards. And the timing, it's about, we always do it at about 8 o'clock Pacific time, which is about like 11 a.m. Eastern time, or for those of you in Europe, afternoon, and for those of you in Asia, it is late evening. We found that this time is, it's kind of the time that works the best for the most of the population that we have in the community, given how global it is. And the 13th session is a demo day session where students present their strategies in order to earn certification. In addition, if you take Botcamp, you will get free access to the courses that we offer. So we have 4 courses right now, ranging from intro to algo trading, market making, and a couple more advanced courses. Each of the courses are about 4 hours long, pre-recorded videos with coding challenges and quizzes. They're included for the cohort participants, and we also offer them separately as standalone courses as well. I'm excited to announce that we will have a couple of courses, new courses, coming out that will be made available to the Botcamp cohort enrollees. One of them will be on AMM dexes, how kind of AMM dexes work from both a theory and a practical standpoint, and it will leverage the new gateway middleware that we just introduced in version 2.8. And Feide's also working on another course on perp dexes, kind of the theory on how these perp dexes differ from regular exchanges, how funding arbitrage works, and other things like that. So these two new courses will be included for the Cohort 12 participants, and we'll also offer them on a standalone basis. So who takes Botcamp? We get this question a lot, and I want to make sure that those of you who are considering paying the tuition understand what kind of value you're going to get out of it. So one contingent we always see are people who are trying to set up their own market-making businesses or market-making firms who send some of their junior staff. So in the last batch, we had Yellow Capital and Lucex, and in every cohort we always have a sizable contingent from market makers. And I think it makes sense because I think what we offer essentially is a 1 month really intensive cohort, boot camp, that basically that teaches you from everything about market making. The practical elements, the risks, how to make money from market making, actually the opportunities in the market, and I think that even if you know nothing about market making, you should be able to come out of the cohort with a really good understanding of how to do that job. So if you're thinking of starting a market making business, or if you're a market making firm and just wanted to kind of have basically a really efficient way to train your staff, I think Botcamp Cohort would be a really good idea. The second contingent of folks we always see taking Botcamp are token issuers themselves. So actually, this time around, we actually might try to get a testimonial from some of the token issuers in our community. But we always see a lot of smaller projects just use Hummingbot to provide liquidity for their own tokens, as opposed to hiring a market maker. And we can consider how expensive a market maker would be. Paying the Botcamp tuition and kind of like learning to do it for yourself, I think could save you a lot of money in the long run if you have your own token. And then finally, we always see lots of individual algo traders. This type of student is always near and dear to my heart, because I'm one of them, and so is Feide, I think, and other folks on our team. I think we all basically do some trading on the side, and we all basically use Hummingbot for personally, and I'm always excited to teach people, how to actually, take some part of your money and generate more money from it using algo trading. So this I think is I think we can teach both the theory of it as well as a practical application of what you really should be doing, what you maybe shouldn't be doing, and I think we can help you kind of turn algo trading into a serious side hustle. But of course, like overall, we're trying to build a community with Botcamp. That's why we try to offer opportunities for Botcamp graduates, and that's why we're kind of introducing the profiles section after this cohort, where every Botcamp graduate would have their own profile that lists their accomplishments during the cohort, their kind of a job experience, and we think we can kind of match Botcamp graduates with all the folks who are trying to hire Hummingbot developers currently on Discord. All right, let me pause there. Let me just check the YouTube for any questions. Here we go. There are a couple questions. I see one from Ali Reza. I want to create a market-making bot for the tokens that list their tokens on exchanges and want both market-making and volume. Can this be done with Hummingbot? Need help getting started? I think this is one of the main use cases for Hummingbot. If you, let me pause here so I don't disrupt everyone. But yeah, I think if you're interested in doing that, if you just want to join a Discord and learn, for free, you can join that. We also offer YouTube videos, but I think Botcamp is probably the main way that people learn market making through Hummingbot, because it is kind of more intensive, and we offer personalized instructions. So I think one thing to note is that there's really no general solution to market making, because it depends on what the needs of the issuer are, what the needs of exchange might be, And so the market making, I would think of market making as you're almost like it's a profession where if you're really good at it, you can serve lots of customers who need liquidity. Those customers might be token issuers, they might be exchanges, and once you can serve those customers, you can always there's always ways to make money on the side through arbitrage, because you've integrated all of these different exchange venues into your system. So Hummingbot, I would say, definitely helps with that because it's an open source framework that it allows you to do market making without having to hire more engineers. But it's also incumbent upon you to learn how to use a framework properly, how to run the right strategies. And that's kind of why Botcamp exists. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Okay, so let me cover, though, what's new in Cohort 12. I think we have some really interesting developments in the open source framework that people will be able to leverage in this cohort. So, before we do that, I want to just play this little a clip of of a strategy that was developed in the last cohort. Overall, I think this will give you a really good idea of what you'll learn during the cohort. This one was actually the winner of the last cohort. Basically, we always have during demo day we have a round of voting where all the students vote for the cohort MVP. That student gets a special cohort NFT to signify their progress. And so in the last batch, Nikos won the MVP with this strategy. So let me play this video, and hopefully this will explain more clearly what you'll learn in the cohort. All right, so let's move on to strategy number 6. This one is from Nikos, the leader follower directional divergence strategy. This one I think also Fede has probably some guidance on, because he was one that gave feedback on the strategy. Fede, do you want to give your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I have been talking with Nikos also over the weekend. I think that is a really interesting strategy. But the most important thing is like to understand when the strategy is going to work more, and identify really like trending moments in the market. But I think that this strategy has a lot of potential. It's more risky than StatArb, but it's more like the type of strategy that you can make probably good returns, but you take more risk. But well, I think that can be really, really interesting. And that video is really cool. That video is it's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to show this first part because what you're seeing here is a template that we ask all the students designing strategies to build. So this actually was a quite an advanced strategy because Nikos, he used some advanced regression techniques to try to identify kind of like promising meme coins to trade. And the overall idea is that if the price of Solana is the leading indicator, then and if the meme coins are following the Solana, then there might be some information exploit by tracking kind of like how the leading coin diverges from the followers. But this template is something that we help all the students fill out, and it kind of offers them a guide in building the strategy. For instance, there's a flow chart with all the steps, and so after Nico filled it out, then he created his demo day video, and that's what he presented in this section here. I really like how Nico's like actually created these videos. I don't know what he used to do this, but this is pretty cool. This must be like a Jupyter notebook kind of thing.
I think that he's using the animation feature, right? Of the yeah, he's right. Let's stop talking, Mike. Let's show the.
No. Well, the reason I'm talking is because I'm actually downloading the video right now. It has another 10 seconds to go.
No. This is like watching a movie.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're waiting for Nikos' a video to download.
I'll skip ahead and play the video right now. submission for Botcamp Cohort 11. I have named my strategy Leader Follower.
Sorry, Mike, can you increase the volume?
And it's based on the observation that crypto assets within the same category, such as AI or DeFi coins, tend to move in similar directions. The approach involves selecting a leader asset and a group of follower assets based on discretionary research. For example, we might designate Solana as the leader and use a subset of Solana-based meme coins as the followers. Alternatively, one of the meme coins, such as the one with the highest trading volume, could be chosen as the leader, provided its volatility doesn't distort the directional signal. Once we've selected the assets, we apply linear regressions to their close prices over a defined time window and use the angle of each regression line as an indicator of directional movement. The aim is to assign a directional value to each asset. Every time the leader asset shows a directional shift, defined as the regression angle flipping from positive to negative or vice versa, we examine the follower assets. Specifically, we look for followers whose regression angles are pointing in the opposite direction and exceed a minimum threshold in angular difference. We then take positions on those assets, expecting them to follow the leader's new direction. We hold the trade until the regression directions of the leader and the follower realign. While this might sound intuitive, the angle of the linear regression doesn't always accurately reflect the actual price action. As a result, it's entirely possible for a trade to close with a negative P&L, even when the regression angle behaves as predicted. Another characteristic of the strategy is that we're not concerned if some of the selected follower coins flip direction before the leader does. When this happens, it only impacts our trading volume and not the outcome, since we don't initiate any trades until the leader itself changes direction. What really matters is how often the followers that were initially moving in the opposite direction at the moment the leader flips end up aligning with the leader before the leader reverts back to the previous direction. While this strategy was inspired by an exploration of statistical arbitrage, it should not be confused with traditional stat arb. There are several key differences. First, it does not include a hedging component, which means the results may be more volatile. Most importantly though, it does not rely on co-integration. While stat arb typically requires assets with a stable long-term relationship, this strategy only assumes that assets are loosely correlated and tend to move in similar directions, specifically during potential directional shifts, not that they are co-integrated. From an algorithmic perspective, the main challenge was designing the controller to use dynamic exit signals instead of relying on predetermined take-profit values, since we can't predict the exact price where the linear regression alignment will occur. I implemented a continuous signal logic where the signal flips to a new direction when the entry requirements are met and remains in that state until the exit conditions are satisfied. As a result, the stop actions proposal method is responsible for stopping any executors that are no longer aligned with the current signal. I have tested the controller with a small amount of capital, and here's a short video showing the strategy in action.
Well, I hope that was helpful in giving everyone an explanation of what you'll learn in Botcamp. Both Faye and I were really impressed with this strategy because this was a highly custom strategy where Nikos did the research beforehand. As you see, built these beautiful notebooks to visualize the trend shifts, and then he also heavily customized the controller to create a dynamic kind of take profit kind of like section, and so this is actually where I think Fede helped him a lot with the algorithmic changes. So this is actually kind of why we try to limit how many students there are in a cohort, because for us to provide this type of personalized instruction to each student kind of means that we have to kind of cap the number of students at like 35 or 40. But basically, throughout the month of September, we'll be working with the various people in the cohort in order to help them get their custom strategies built, teach them how to use the framework, and hopefully anything that you want to build, we can help you build it using Hummingbot. Vincent asks, will this Botcamp include MCP-related content? Yes, actually, this is actually one of the new things that we'll be launching this time. So basically, jumping ahead, what's new about this cohort are we'll be able to, this cohort, students will be able to leverage two big technical improvements that we made to Hummingbot. One is the API, it's a very powerful API that allows you to deploy strategies. You can also do direct trading from it. You can fetch market data, and you can even do backtesting. However, because it's a very complex and powerful API, you can interact with the endpoints directly. However, the MCP server should help you use that API a lot more effectively. So Fede showed how to do this in a live stream last weekend, and the students during this cohort will be the first ones that will kind of get a chance to really learn from us in terms of how to use the MCP server to build more agentic kind of trading bots. I don't want to overpromise because it's totally new, and even for ourselves, we're still, kind of testing the boundaries of MCP, trying to see what you can build with it. However, I think it's a really good match for Hummingbot API because the API is essentially lots of individual tools, and provisioning those tools and making them easy to use for an AI agent is basically the purpose of MCP. Secondly, we also completely revamped our DEX middleware. So now Gateway handles Jupyter and Solana DEXs, and handles kind of Uniswap and Ethereum DEXs in the same way. There's a bunch of connectors being added now by the community, like PancakeSwap and Curve. So what it means is, for those of you who are building DEX-based strategies, I think now Gateway is finally ready for prime time, where basically almost any type of kind of DEX-based strategy that you want to build, I think we can help you build it using Gateway. Gateway also has hardware wallet support, so it also makes kind of usage as a trading terminal more viable if you just want to conduct trades. Also, I would say my experience is that on the Gateway side, if you want to build AMM-based strategies, you may not even need to run a bot, actually, because a lot of the actual kind of automation is done kind of for you at the smart contract layer. A lot of it is actually just understanding like how to leverage the existing kind of landscape in order to make money for yourselves. Because I think the goal, in my opinion, if you don't need to run a bot to make money, then you shouldn't have to. The goal is to make money, in the first place. And I think for those of you who are trying to understand, for instance, like how to manage liquidity pools, trying to learn the differences between the different, liquidity pool standards and how to arbitrage them, I think you'll be able to learn all of that in this cohort. And then finally, as I mentioned, I think this live stream that Fede did last weekend, and he'll continue it this Friday, will be a really good introduction into Hummingbot MCP and what you can do with it in conjunction with the API. Okay, all right. I hope that answered your question, Vincent. So let me move on and try to give everyone, a bit more of a preview into what's new with this cohort. One of the developments we found really encouraging over the past few months are kind of folks looking to hire certified Botcamp graduates. So we have a Dev MM Wanted channel where people have been posting, jobs and asking for folks who are qualified. In addition, various exchanges and market makers have been pinging me and saying, can you recommend some Botcamp graduates? So to address this need in a more scalable way, we're going to introduce something called Botcamp member profiles. So for this will be new at the end of cohort 12, but we'll also allow anyone who's taken a past Botcamp cohort to provide their information and update their profiles in a self-serve way. So what it'll look like is something like this. This is an example, obviously, that some AI created for me, but basically we'll have like a page like this for every person, and it will have their demo day presentation, whether they were certified or not, and also information from their GitHub or LinkedIn that they want to post. We're hoping that this will create like these profiles will be housed in a directory that we can basically post on the Botcamp website. And so any exchange or market maker looking to hire Botcamp graduates, we can just direct them to that directory. So yeah, so before I end, let me just look for questions. Looks like no questions yet that are new, but let me post just a quick preview of the cohort 12 agenda. So we actually use this Notion document. This is the same thing, content that's listed on the Botcamp Cohort page over here. But yeah, so I think that this Notion document is something that we provide to students in the cohort, and it offers kind of like a living document that tracks what they're using. So one quick note is that we all the meetings take place on Zoom at a time which we think works well for everyone in the world. Afterwards, each session is recorded and posted on the Botcamp website. So if you can't make the session, you can always watch the recording. And then the way it's structured is that week 1, actually week 0, this year we're actually introducing a setup week. So starting on September 1st, the students who are enrolled can already start to basically get help from us in installing everything that's needed for the cohort. And our goal with the setup week is to ensure that you hit the ground running in week 1 and you've already installed Hummingbot and Gateway, and you can already basically start to learn the material without having to worry about installation. So week one is designed to really provide a solid theoretical framework for everyone interested in market making and how to use Hummingbot to do it. So on the first day, we cover a lot of the basics that we cover in the intro course, but in a more live, real-time way. For example, defining what market making is, covering how order book exchanges work versus non-order book exchanges, spot versus perpetual, and various strategies. One of my goals in this first session is to really help people understand how market makers make money and how they can fit in the picture. In the rest of week 1, we go over the Hummingbot open source framework, how to do the basics, how to run basic scripts, and introduction to the various strategy frameworks we have. And the last 2 days of week 1, we're going to get real into running bots, understanding market making from a theoretical perspective with the Alvin and Stoikov paper, running controllers, and then on Friday, in that first week, Fede will already be doing live coding, showing you how to build different strategy controllers using Hummingbot and setting you up for building your own strategies. So it's pretty intensive. So week 1 homework, we asked students to go through the courses, code the challenges, and start to design the strategies using this design template that we have. So this design template, and I'll show you, this is actually, so we maintain a strategy database of all the students' databases. This is only available to the students, the people who take the cohort. But if people can create a new one, basically it looks like this, where they fill out this template, and we try to help them maintain and build this template over time. And this template should help people basically provide the key components to a strategy. For example, inputs, what should be shown in the status command, and the flow chart that defines every step of the process. So Vincent asks, good morning, I'm an IT technician with no prior quantitative experience. Will the Botcamp help me transition into a new career? And what are my future career prospects like? Overall, I think that if you have development experience, Botcamp can probably help you. I want to caveat by saying that I think that this is a pretty intensive bootcamp designed for folks with some amount of either development experience in Python or experience doing crypto trading. So usually we have kind of two types of students coming through the Botcamp. One are kind of developers that are looking to upscale their kind of like crypto trading experience, and the other one are kind of crypto traders that are looking to upscale their developer experience. Overall, so for you, I would say, I think if you're a developer ready, as in if you know how to code Python, and you're confident that you want to make a career shift into, let's say, crypto algo trading, then yes, I do think Botcamp would be a good place to start. You may want to start by just taking one of the courses first, as opposed to the cohort, to ensure that the material is something you really want to learn. However, if you're confident that you want to really take a leap into crypto trading, you're serious about kind of up-leveling your talent over really learning everything over a 1 month period, then yes, I do think Botcamp can work. However, it is going to be intensive, and so I would definitely try to set aside at least like 10 hours a week to learn the material if you don't already have a crypto trading background. But in terms of what your career prospects are like, it's difficult for me to say exactly, what you can have. But just to show an example, our Discord here, if you look at the Dev MM1 channel, so this is basically the current place that we kind of funnel all the developers as well as folks looking to hire the developers. And so what we're seeing lately is that almost every day there's someone posting a message looking to hire developers. And I think with the profiles that we're adding for this cohort, I think it should be even easier to match developers with market-making firms and exchanges looking to hire them. But I hope that answers the question. But the one caveat is I do think we have had people say in the past, like, they felt overwhelmed by the material because they didn't have, they lacked both the Python side and the crypto trading side, and they were learning both from scratch. If you're in that position, I would actually advocate maybe taking one of the courses first, or watching a lot of our YouTube videos before enrolling in the cohort. Just continue on a bit. So as I mentioned, let me go back to the Cohort agenda. In week 2, we're going to get a lot more specific about the more advanced things that you can do with Hummingbot. So, for instance, we'll get into the theory on AMM dexes and how they work, how to code custom strategies like statistical stat arbitrage, how to really customize your strategy, and also finally, in the end of week 2, we're going to get into running trading bots in production. Actually running both DEX strategies and STEX strategies using the gateway and the API. There's also another repo that we have called QuantLab, which is more of a research-oriented repo. It's a bunch of like Jupyter notebooks you can interact with to fetch market data, conduct backtesting, and so forth. That's actually, I would say, that's actually what we recommend the kind of researchers and developers start with when they're formulating a strategy. So we'll show how to use that repo to kind of start your research before coding up something in Hummingbot. So by the end of week 2, you should have a really good understanding of the open source framework and how to customize it. So starting to week 2, we'll really try to help students transition and fleshing out their custom strategies in the template, implementing in the code, and really building something like the leader-follower strategy I showed earlier, where it's a really impressive strategy that can help help you in your career, no matter what it is. in week 3, we basically offer 4 office hours where students can work with both me and Fede to refine their strategies, learn how to customize them, and really try to really make sure that their strategies are something they can present during demo day. And then finally, the last session, which is demo day, we basically we take the videos that each of the students has presented, and we collate them into one presentation like the one that you saw earlier. So, and afterwards, I would say after demo day, there's a process where we try to provide the materials that help the students maximize what they learned in the cohort. So that might be the demo day video, the member profile, as well as the cohort NFT that signifies your certification status. Overall, this is a 1-month-long process. It's pretty intensive for both the students and for us, but honestly, I think, speaking for me and Fede, we really enjoy it because it's a chance for us to take all the stuff we built, in the last few months, and just teach people how to use it and maximize the potential of what that built. Vincent asked, how to design a good strategy. Well, I think actually, I think the best way to think about this is if you just watch the playlist that we have for Demo Day 11, and you can see kind of like the scoring, like you can see which strategy people voted for, which one won MVP, and which ones didn't. Overall, I think the elements of a good strategy, I think, are the thesis, the thesis you have, the implementation, but there's really kind of like ultimately the test of the strategy is, does it work for you? If it's a demo, I think creating something like the leader follower strategy I just showed, I think that artifact will help you in your career no matter what, because it's a proof point of what you can build with Hummingbot, and it showcases your knowledge of crypto algo trading. And so obviously, I think if you're new, I think I would focus on building something that's maybe maybe kind of slightly simpler. We can recommend strategies for you. For example, something that is doing arbitrage, or something that is like, for instance, funding with arbitrage. I think is always a good example for perpetual dexes. If you're or like, let's say if you're a token issuer, market making on one exchange, but using the price from another exchange as a reference might be an example. If you're completely new, we can actually help you recommend various strategies for you to build. But overall, I think our goal is to help you build something that will help you in your career. If it's a video, it's a certification. Hopefully, it will open up more opportunities for you. But it's hard for me to kind of say right now without knowing, what experience you have and what domain experience you have. Because ideally, what you're building is you're building from an area of strength. For example, if you're let's say you're in a country like Brazil, you probably have access to local exchanges that other people don't. So, for example, that allows you to access, kind of FX trading, where you can basically start market making for the Brazilian real on, let's say, Binance, hedging it locally, and that's a trade that people that don't live in Brazil don't have access to, because they don't have access to the Brazilian real from a hedging standpoint. So I would say that's why I think for us, there's always the first couple of weeks, we always try to understand from each student's perspective what they want to build, and we try to help them focus on strategies that will leverage their areas of competence, so to speak. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. So overall, I think if you're looking for more information about Botcamp, I think the best place to start is this page here. We also have a Telegram group that you can ask questions in, and Carlito and I can help you onboard. But as I mentioned before, we already have about 26 students enrolled in Cohort 12. It's actually good enough already. Ideally, I think 30 to 35 is probably where we like to land in total. So if you're interested in signing up, please sign up in the next 1 week, and we'll get started soon. Yeah, hey, Dan, I think I just answered that question. So try to just maybe rewind, rewind like 15 minutes, and I think you'll see my answer to the other person who asked for that question. Overall, yeah, as I mentioned, I think you want to have some experience if you're taking Botcamp, either Python experience if you want to learn crypto trading, or if you have crypto trading and not a lot of Python experience, that also works as well. Given how good AI now is, you should be able to kind of just take the existing strategy templates and have like Claude or Gemini help you kind of compose them in the way that you want. But overall, I do think AI is a really helpful, for everyone working with Hummingbot, because it's a very powerful framework. But if you know how to use AI to help you navigate it, that itself is an incredibly valuable skill. And I think that's actually, I would say, the goal of this MCP server is to like help you understand how to use MCP to really maximize the potential of the Hummingbot system. And so, yeah, I do think in the future, I'm not sure we can make this promise today, that you can build truly agentic, trading strategies, but I think this is coming soon. So I think that by the time we kind of flesh out the MCP server over the next few months, start working with students to create more examples, I do think we're going to see more, agentic behaviors from what people are building. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what people can take advantage of in this cohort. Well, all right, everyone. I think if there's any more questions, I'll end it here probably, and try to get back to work. But overall, as I mentioned, I think this cohort will be the best one yet, because now people can really take advantage of all the new stuff we've added, and really learn how to build anything they want to build. Thanks, everyone. And